everyone, today we're going to be talking about haltering horses and Halter Fit.
Howdy, and welcome to the Bar SC Ranch, where you will experience our journey of running a family business, caring for animals, and doing life together. Subscribe now and be inspired here at the Bar SC.
First, we're going to talk about how to approach your horse and halter it, both out in pasture and in a stall or paddock. Come on with me out into pasture. That's where we're going to start. So we're gonna get in front of her shoulder to make her stop. Charlie! Gonna introduce myself, give her a little rub on the neck, place my rope over her neck so that I have control over her head and body. I'm gonna move over to her left-hand side because it's easier to place the halter on from this direction. We're gonna go ahead and bring the nose piece up and over her nose, bring it up over her ears, the crown piece up over her ears, and attach the halter. And this is how we approach and halter a horse while out in pasture. Now we're gonna be talking about haltering your horse in a smaller space, such as a small paddock or stall. It's really important to always keep safety in mind as we are approaching our horse in a small space. This horse is Willie. I'm gonna make sure that I come around and use as much of the paddock area as I can, approach him at the shoulder, introduce myself, and then go ahead and halter his head. Hey Willie, how's it going? Hey buddy, are you enjoying your food? All right, I'm gonna give him a little rub. I'm going to place my rope over his neck. Once I've got the rope over his neck, I've got his head and body pretty secure. I wanna make sure that he doesn't turn around and accidentally kick me, especially in a small space. It's gonna be really hard for me to get away. All right, then I'm gonna take my halter, slip it up and over his nose, get it over the crown of his head, and snugly secure my halter. Now we are ready to go. We've got great control over our horse's head and body, and that is how you approach a horse and halter it in a small space, such as a paddock or stall. There are two types of halters that are typically used around horses. One style is called a rope halter. The other style is called a nylon halter. Both types of halters are completely safe and can be used on any horse. However, sometimes they have a little bit of different function. A rope halter, such as this one out here, is more typically used in a training situation or definitely with Western horses. A nylon halter like this is oftentimes found on English horses or just on horses that don't require any additional training or correction. I'm now going to talk about how to actually halter your horse. There are two ways to halter your horse. I'm going to show you one way with a nylon halter and another way with the rope halter. I've gone ahead and placed my lead rope around my horse's neck, so I've got good control of his head. I'm now going to use the hug a horse method for haltering my horse. So I'm going to take my hand, I'm going to reach over his head, take the crown piece of the halter in my right hand, and then slide the halter up and over the bridge of his nose. I'm going to use my hand to make sure that it's up high enough on his face and that it fits nice and snug around his head. Then I'm going to secure the top of the halter with this metal clasp and make sure I tuck the end securely in. That's the way that we halter a horse using a nylon halter. Now we're going to talk about haltering a horse using a rope halter. I'm going to use the second method of haltering my horse where if I can't get my hand up and over his head, I'm going to be able to not have to hug my horse to get my halter on. I'm going to go ahead and open up my rope halter like this so that the nose piece is ready for his nose. I'm going to go ahead and slide it up and over his nose. Now I'm going to toss gently the extra part of the crown piece of my halter up and over, trying not to hit him in the face or the eye. I am now going to take my hand, make sure the nose piece is up nice and snug, high on his face, that the side is nice and snug, and that it's snug underneath his chin. I'm simply going to take the top part of my halter and place the crown piece of my halter through the loop here. And we're going to make sure that we tie to this lower portion of the halter. This way we can always undo the knot if the horse happens to pull back or step on his lead rope and the rope bites down on itself. So what we're gonna do is make a backwards D. We're gonna slide the end of the halter through our little knot. Make sure it is facing away from the horse's eye and face and is nice and snug right like that. This way, if it happens to get too tight, we can always take our hand, push down on the top portion of this crown part of the halter, and our knot can be loosened. And then our halter can always be removed. Now we're going to review Halter Fit. Again, we want to make sure that the noseband is nice and snug up and over the horse's nose. We want to ensure that the noseband is not too low on the horse's face. Down here, it can interfere with the horse's breathing. We want to make sure it's not too high on the horse's face, above these protruding cheekbones. If it's too high, we can be a little bit too close to the horse's eye, and the halter is definitely too high up on the horse's face. We also want to make sure that it's nice and snug along these cheek pieces, underneath the chin, and we want to make sure that the back of the halter is definitely on the underside or backside of this cheekbone. Once your halter is securely fastened on the horse's head like this, it is in the correct location and ready to be used. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you learned a little bit about haltering and Halter Fit. Please check out our CHA playlist for more educational videos.
If you enjoyed this video, we'd love to hear from you. Like and subscribe and leave comments about what you might like to see in future videos. We'll see ya back on the ranch.